Hello beer tubers and welcome to a very special beer review, a surprise for both Brett and I, courtesy of Andre. Andre has been following the channel for a very long time. He comments all the time. It's awesome. He interacts a lot. It's very fun to hear your comments and thoughts, Andre. It's amazing that you sent us this. So thanks so much. We knew there was a parcel coming with at least some monkish, and already that, from a subscriber is amazing. But then he also sent this. And it arrived today. I called Brett up right after I received the package. I know we have a share tomorrow, but you want to try this now because it's dead fresh. And I want to get a good pour. Yeah. And this is none other than two-stage double dry hop Pliny the Elder. Whew! Brett's never had Pliny.
Nope.
So he's going to start up with the new variant, but whatever. Yeah. It's going to be fantastic West Coast IPA. If you're a geek and you follow this channel, you probably heard of Russian River's Pliny the Elder. It's the first and one of the most iconic double IPAs ever brewed. Iconic West Coast beer. Very, very impressive stuff. It's 8%, and this is basically a reworking of the limited edition run they did of Pliny for President. They reworked it, and then they did this version that's going to stick around. They're going to keep brewing it, which is awesome. So we're going to see a few, varied batches of this, hopefully.
Yeah.
So very, very cool. They do a slightly different dry hop thing. Yeah. Apparently 2 stages. I think Planet's already double dry hop, but they dry hop it again somehow.
Yeah.
This will be really.
It's another
really
technique.
Awesome. Yes.
Yeah.
So we got it poured, and it looks amazing in the glass. Yeah. It's got a little bit of chill haze on it, but otherwise, when we poured the first drops out, it's crystal clear looking. It looks like what I remember from
West
Coast.
You can really smell it from a distance. It's not always you can that with
West Coast
IPAs. Usually they can be a bit more muted.
Yeah, and it's got a very nice head. It fizzes away kind of quickly, but usually I feel like West Coast IPAs, the heads don't linger as good. It's pretty good, but I don't feel like it lingers as well as some New England IPAs. But I think it's because there's no oats and in these beers. But man, I am stoked to try this. So you want to check out the aroma? Yeah. And 4 weeks old, by the way. So wow. Oh, this is so amazing. This is like being in California again. Yeah. This reminds me of drinking Stone Rin 10 or old school fresh Alpine.
Yeah.
Seriously does. And of course also Pliny. I don't think, by the way, I've ever had a Pliny this fresh besides when I had it on tap in the States, but damn.
But it's super pithy.
Crazy pithy.
Yeah.
And it smells, it's super pin bright, but also loads of pithiness, as you said. Like grapefruit, but
just when you're peeling
the grapefruit's
and the lime and the lemon or the orange.
It's such a supercharged New England. What the fuck am I saying? West Coast double IPA. Yeah. You can smell that it's gonna dry out a bit. There's some sweetness from the crystal malts and a little bit of breadiness, and I think they just use some light crystal malts in this. But then just this onslaught of fresh, really dank, or that West Coast dankness, super dank, slightly oniony garlicky, and then onslaught of pineapple too, sweet over. The fun thing, often in New England IPAs, it goes into this tart pineapple thing, but this is almost like canned pineapple.
Yeah. Or again, that sensation of just cutting through a pineapple, or that aroma.
Yeah, and also just orange.
Also, if you blend these fruits, that aroma of the pith.
It's like a West Coast IPA with a lot of bright fruit and not just loads of fruit character, but there's still the layers of more classical West Coast flavor of a little bit of pine and all the resiny flavors and all that. But it's underneath.
It reminds me a little bit of the one we had a few days ago, because I don't think this is much bigger in the aroma, to be honest. But I think it's similar because the resin and the stuff is underlying, and all these fruits and the grapefruit and the lime and the pineapple are in the forefront.
I feel like this is much more intense on the aroma than that one, and I feel like it's definitely got more layers of complexity than.
I'm not sure. I think there's a huge difference, but I think this is a bit more popping. But let's try it.
Yeah, it smells great. Cheers, and Andre, thanks so much. So dry and bitter.
Very different on the flavor.
Huge pop of bitterness.
Yeah.
Man. I miss beers like this.
Yeah.
Fuck, that is world-class West Coast double IPA.
Yeah.
Right there. It is like...
just what you want.
Pithy and grapefruity. It's got like this almost like a pineapple grapefruit marmalade or something, like, because there's a little bit of sweetness.
Yeah.
Huge dankness. There's onion and garlic rest, but like, and just like a huge pop of grapefruit.
Yeah. And the bitterness just,
lingers.
And it kicks in so early. But it's not like super high bitterness. It's like a medium plus kind of. It's very much in balance.
Yeah, like it's a long, drying bitterness making you go in for another sip, but it's not overdone. It's definitely in balance with the rest of the beer, 100%. Fantastic. It really reminds me of drinking, of course, Pliny, regular Pliny, just a bit more, if you can say new school. I mean, there is a bit more of like the tropical flair to it, even hints of stone fruit, but it reminds me more so of drinking something like Stone Ruin 10 when that first came out, because that was a supercharged version of Ruination, which was, the original Ruination was also one of the first double IPAs. And it's kind of like Ruination, or Pliny got a treatment like Ruination. I would love to go back to I'm definitely going to be going back to California, but next time I need to hit up Russian River and drink this stuff fresh on tap.
And maybe also that old school Alpine location.
Yeah. Up in Mammoth,
in actual Alpine.
Yeah, I think the area is called Mammoth or something. It's just outside of San Diego. It would be amazing to visit OG Alpine. But fuck, this is great.
It drinks more like a single IPA, to be honest. It doesn't have any of that
not
heavy, slightly cloying, sometimes also a bit boozy double IPA West Coast thing. It doesn't have any of that at all. It's so drinkable.
I love it.
It's still so intense.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people who are really into New England IPAs, they won't get it.
But this is a very dry and bitter beer.
Yes, very dry, very bitter,
to
and
that
also
trend.
Yeah, and also you have those old school hop vibes of like the pith and the pine and the resin. Like it's really like pine resin sitting on the back of your palate that dries out and everything. So it's a totally different type of beer, but it's the West Coast style just exactly done to a freaking T.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic. Man, I'm really hoping for getting to try Pliny the Younger.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I'm not that scared about trying that beer now, because I was afraid that it would be maybe a bit too boozy and a bit too heavy, but trying this, I'm definitely sure it won't be too heavy and boozy, because that's my only beef with West Coast double IPAs. And this doesn't have any of that.
I can't remember the last time I've had a West Coast IPA that's drinkable, and also one that I like this much. Like I think Afterclose is the closest from Great Notion.
But I think the what are they called? The Beechwood IPAs are much closer to this than the Great Notion one.
Yeah, agreed. Because they're a bit more bitter. Great Notion is a bit more new school than this. And I think the Managing Expectations, it's a similar type of beer. It's just lacking that impact.
And it's also a much sweeter beer.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. But I think the aroma
is similar.
It's definitely similar to Managing Expectations, but this flavor-wise is much more like true West Coast.
I would love to have
just more popping.
A sixer of this, a sixer of Blind Pig standing in the fridge.
Yeah.
Maybe a sixer of regular Pliny. That would be fucking amazing. It would also be amazing to have a sixer of Monkish, and right now we have 3 cans of Monkish in the fridge, courtesy of Andre as well. But if you want to get those more modern hazy beers. But man, this just takes me back to when I was getting fired up about IPAs and I was really going into this definitely world-class West Coast IPA. It's not an IPA I'm going to give 100. And I think for me to give 100 to IPAs nowadays is super rare. But I'll say this is around the 97 territory. It is phenomenal West Coast IPA, and this is almost as good as it comes. So yeah, 96, 97. Yeah, fucking love it.
Yeah.
So good. I'm so happy I'm not disappointed either.
Yeah.
But I think it's also because it's been so long since we've had a West Coast IPA on this level.
Yeah, you don't find many of them.
No.
So that also plays a huge part. But for me, it's also just one of the best West Coast IPAs I've ever had. So it's definitely up there with some of the best examples, and if not the best. But it's hard to tell when there's such a long time between them these days. So, but I completely agree. I'm like high 96, small 97. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's fucking... And I don't think I've ever had a Pliny this singing and vibrant and fresh. And I think, you know, when I had it fresh in California, it was in SoCal. It was in San Diego. It was actually at Stone. And I think the keg there was probably around maybe 6 weeks or so. It wasn't as fresh as this. This is, you know, it's just been standing here. Nothing's been tapped on it. It's not been opened or anything. You know, it's a fresher experience out of the can than on a keg that's not just been tapped. So I think that might be even why I'm enjoying this more than when I had it back then. To be 100%. That was also the regular, but whatever. I hate saying stuff like that. But I just think it's some of those things that plays
it. It must be sick to have this super fresh on tap, like 1 or 2 weeks old at Russian River. Yeah, that must be awesome to just drink this and Blind Pig and
Blind Pig. Blind Pig is one of my favorite West Coast IPAs.
It would be so great to do a side by side of Monkish take on Blind Pig and then Russian Rivers.
But they've only done that take once, right?
Twice.
Oh,
now.
That would be Blind Pug.
Yeah, exactly, Blind Pug.
But yeah.
So,
this is amazing. Thanks so much, Andre.
Yeah.
Whew. Pliny the Elder. Double dry hopped. Amazing.
Absolutely.
So yeah, if you guys were lucky enough to get a chance to try this bad boy, let us know what you thought of it. I think a few of the American subscribers have done it. Probably also a few in Europe because, you know, Andre got it. So I'm guessing a lot of people who get Monkish and buy/trade for these kinds of high hazy beers would have gotten it if it's from the West Coast. They're shipped. So fantastic. As always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And we're going to say cheers in world-class West Coast double IPA. Man, I missed this.
Yeah.
See you guys in another beer review.
Cheers.